Hey Vikings fans, what's going on? Purple Nation, buckle up, because today's Minnesota Vikings news is one of those stories that makes you stop, rewind, and listen again. A familiar name is suddenly back in the conversation, and it's stirring emotions all across the fan base. Love him or hate him, this is a storyline you cannot ignore. Right when everyone thought the quarterback chapter was moving firmly into the future, a little comment, a simple smile, and 2 words lit a fire across the league. We'll see. That's all it took. And now Vikings fans everywhere are asking the same question at the same time. Could Kirk Cousins really be considering a reunion with the Minnesota Vikings? And if so, what would that mean for J.J. McCarthy, the locker room, and the direction of this franchise? Stay with me because this story gets deeper with every layer. The Vikings quarterback situation refuses to cool down, even with the Super Bowl spotlight shining elsewhere. Around the league, executives, insiders, and fans keep circling back to Minnesota as one of the most fascinating quarterback puzzles in football. Stability, competition, and future planning are all colliding at once. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk added fuel to the fire on Radio Row when he openly pushed the idea of Kirk Cousins returning to Minnesota. This wasn't just a rumor floating on social media. This was a respected league voice saying it out loud, directly to Cousins himself. And Kirk's reaction? A grin, a laugh, and a playful but loaded response. We'll see. We'll see. For Vikings fans, that sounded a lot like a door being left cracked open instead of slammed shut. Kirk Cousins is at a crossroads in his career. At 37 years old, with 2 years remaining on a massive 4-year, $180 million contract signed after leaving Minnesota in 2024, his future is anything but certain. Around the NFL, many believe he could be a cut or trade candidate. Atlanta is moving forward with the Michael Penix Jr. era, and that signals a shift in priorities. The Falcons want to see what their young quarterback can become, and that naturally puts Cousins' role under a microscope. Even after winning the final 4 games of the season, questions remain. For a veteran quarterback who has seen just about everything this league can throw at you, uncertainty isn't new. But this moment feels different, because the next move could define how the final chapter of Cousins' career is written. When asked about his expectations for the offseason, Cousins didn't pretend to have answers. Instead, he offered honesty that resonates with anyone who's followed his journey. He said his expectation is to not expect anything at all. Cousins explained that every time he's tried to predict his future, the NFL proved him wrong. Trades, releases, new opportunities, and sudden changes have shaped his career. That experience has taught him to keep an open mind. He emphasized that things will become clearer in March, when real conversations begin. Until then, he's preparing himself mentally for every possibility, knowing firsthand that this league can pivot overnight. What stood out most was Cousins' competitive fire. Despite his age, he made it clear he still wants to play, still wants to compete, and still wants to be part of a team trying to make a serious run. That hunger hasn't faded. He talked about how much fun he had during Atlanta's late-season 4-game winning streak. Winning, momentum, and belief still drive him, and he wants to build on that feeling wherever his next opportunity comes from. For Vikings fans, that raises an intriguing question. If Cousins becomes available, and Minnesota truly wants a veteran quarterback, could the timing be lining up in an unexpected way? Inside the Minnesota Vikings front office, one message has been consistent. The team wants a veteran quarterback to compete with J.J. McCarthy. After a difficult first season as the starter, McCarthy's development remains a work in progress. Competition has always been part of the Vikings' philosophy, and bringing in a proven veteran would align with that thinking. The question isn't just about adding experience, it's about pushing everyone in the room to be better. If Cousins were to return, it wouldn't just be a sentimental reunion. It would immediately reshape the quarterback room and force hard decisions about who truly gives this team the best chance to win. That leads to the biggest debate of all. If Kirk Cousins comes back to Minnesota, is he returning as the unquestioned starter? Or is this a true quarterback competition? And how would that dynamic impact a young quarterback like McCarthy? A veteran presence can be a mentor, but it can also slow the transition if the team hesitates to fully commit to the future. The Vikings would need to balance short-term competitiveness with long-term growth. This isn't just about talent. It's about leadership, locker room trust, and the direction of the franchise in a pivotal window. The voices inside the Vikings building are starting to hint at change. Recently, both Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones spoke about the team moving on from Sam Darnold. Their comments were measured, but they didn't exactly scream certainty. When asked about J.J. McCarthy, neither Jefferson nor Jones offered completely convincing endorsements. That hesitation has not gone unnoticed by fans or media. When your star receiver and veteran running back leave room for doubt, it naturally raises questions about how confident the team truly is behind the scenes. Adding to the intrigue, ESPN's Kevin Seifert reported that all bets are off regarding McCarthy's future. That single phrase carries massive weight when coming from such a reliable Vikings insider. All bets are off suggests flexibility, uncertainty, and openness to multiple paths forward. It tells us the Vikings are evaluating everything, not just sticking to a predetermined plan. And in that kind of environment, a familiar, experienced quarterback like Cousins suddenly makes a lot more sense as a possibility. From Cousins' perspective, the door is clearly not closed. He openly said he would love to keep going, and he doesn't see himself done yet. His love for the game is still obvious. He talked about enjoying the grind, enjoying the wins, and wanting to see how far he can still push himself. That mindset is exactly why teams continue to take chances on veteran quarterbacks. For Minnesota, that kind of motivation could be appealing, especially if the team believes it's closer to contention than a full rebuild. Cousins repeatedly returned to the same phrase: keep an open mind, not ruling anything out, letting the process play out. That's not the language of someone shutting down possibilities. For Vikings fans, it's impossible not to read between the lines. A reunion isn't promised, but it's no longer unthinkable either. The idea of Cousins back in purple sparks debate, emotion, and strong opinions. Some see stability and leadership, others see a delay in turning the page. So now I want to hear from you, Vikings fans. If Kirk Cousins becomes available, should the Minnesota Vikings bring him back? Should he compete with J.J. McCarthy? Or should the team fully commit to the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is just getting started. Do you believe a Cousins reunion could make the Vikings contenders again? Or is it time to move on for good? If you enjoyed this breakdown of Minnesota Vikings news, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with every Vikings fan you know. This offseason is going to be wild, and you don't want to miss a single update. Skol. Purple Heart American Football.